Hey gang, you probably already have your mystery box delivered by now, and I know there have been some problems with a certain fragrance, but I've set out to do a video on the discount codes and I want to touch up on some of the issues that we are having with this particular kit. So if you are interested in buying some of the fragrances in the latest mystery box, I've got discount codes for probably about 75% of the fragrances. Working on a few more, but some of them, unfortunately, there aren't any discount codes. But I'm going to touch on those and also this issue that we've had with NOEME's Vanilla SAMBAVA. So find out about this all coming right up. And also, we have a few additional mystery boxes that we had saved that we're dropping now as well. So if you weren't able to get it, and even though the fragrances are exposed, we have some selling right now. So find out all about this coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian. Yes, we do have a few more Scent Club mystery boxes, number 5 mystery boxes that we just dropped. But don't worry, we double checked on all of the samples from NOEME, which is the issue that we've had. A lot of you complained that you had leakage or empty vials, and also vials that were not screwed on tight. And that was what triggered the leakage issues. So if you have been emailing back and forth with customer service, that email address is scentclub@theperfumeguy.net. They have already made arrangements with a resolution. Originally, we thought it was a few, and we were going to send more, but it turned out to be more than we can actually do. So I believe there's some kind of a compensation for a future kit. So if you haven't received that email, just send an email to scentclub@theperfumeguy.net. I'm so sorry about the issue, by the way. So remember, we did 600 kits this time. And so I dug through the box and I actually looked through a couple of them and there were no issues with it. So unfortunately, I don't have the time, or we don't have the time to go through and open up every single one. And, doing that with not only 600 here with NOEME, Vanilla SAMBAVA, and also 29 other fragrances, just would take way too long. So there weren't a lot of issues with any of the other samples, maybe like 1 or 2 here and there, and that's pretty much it. But the majority of the issues were with this fragrance, Vanilla SAMBAVA. So anyway, that's that. And again, I do have a few more Scent Club mystery box number 5s that we just dropped. Those are the ones that we save in case there's any issues that we have. And since we've resolved most of the issues, except for the NOEME, which we're not really sending a replacement for, we've released the remaining 19 or 20 mystery boxes that were on standby for any issues that arose. Anyway, so let's move on to the discount codes. So first off, we've got JUSBOX's 54. That was the first fragrance I spoke to you about in the last couple of videos. Oh, I also want to mention, if you want to find out more info about each of the fragrances in this mystery box kit, there's 30 samples in it. You can go catch the previous videos on the mystery box number 5, where I go into more detail about the fragrances. The first video, obviously, it's a mystery, so there's no reveal of the names or the brand names. And then on the second one, we did the reveal and I explained the fragrances and smelled on camera. So now we're only going to talk about the discount codes. And the first one is JUSBOX's 54. There is a link in the info box with a 15% off discount code for 54. That's the fragrance I'm so proud of to be, to have collaborated on. And it's a fragrance that garners me compliments. So I'm really, really happy with that one. And we're able to get a discount code, 15% off, over at ZGO Perfumery. The second fragrance, we've got PERROY GOLDFAWN, which is this. So this has a 10% discount code over at So Avant Garde. But this weekend, it started last Friday, I did a video on this. Up until tomorrow night, there is a 30% off discount code for that. So normally it's Sebastian 10. The discount code up until tomorrow night will be Sebastian 30. The next fragrance is Goldfield & Banks Mystic Bliss. This is it right here. That has a 15% off discount code over at ZGO Perfumery. It's the perfume guy, that's the code. And I believe I forgot to mention the code for the JUSBOX 54. That's also the perfume guy. Same retailer, ZGO Perfumery. You can get a 15% discount on those two fragrances. The next fragrance, unfortunately, I do not have a discount code. This is INFINIMENT COTY ENCORE en Foie. So there's no discount code. I wasn't able to coordinate it, and I feel like this is a fairly larger conglomerate or house, and they're not into the idea of discounting. So sadly, there's no discounts for that, or the previous kit had one of their other fragrances as well. So maybe you can figure out a way to get it at a discount somewhere. I don't know where, but unfortunately no discount code for that. And then we've got Bon Parfumeur's 502 Iris Cartagena. I don't have a discount code for this now, but I'm working on it, so there might be one posted sometime in the future. Or if not, the fragrances are sold online at the Bon Parfumeur website and also at Ministry of Scent in San Francisco. The next fragrance is Bastille Paradis Nuit, this one right here. So I actually did a full video on the whole entire house. There's no discount code, but there's a link to a retailer, Credo, that sells these. I have it linked in the info box. But if you're curious to discover that house further, you can go catch the video on that whole house. And the fragrances of Bastille are all 95% natural. They're not 100%, but 95%. The next fragrance, Thomas de Monaco's Ultima Storia, which is this. There is a 15% discount code over at ZGO Perfumery. It's the perfume guy code, and all of the discount codes, if I have any, or just straightforward links, I have them in the info box. They're also posted on the perfumeguy.net website, and they're on the page with the discount codes. So yeah, 15% off of Thomas de Monaco Ultima Storia. Then we have Maison Duroc's YLANG d'Or. So YLANG d'Or typically has a 10% discount code Sebastian10 over at So Avant-Garde. But as I said with PERROY, they are doing a 30% off discount this weekend. And so for Maison Duroc's YLANG d'Or, you can save 30% off this weekend, Sebastian30. But normally it's Sebastian10. Then the next fragrance, Laboratorio Olfattivo's Oud in White, this one right here. I'm working on a link to this. No retailer is selling it yet. Hopefully very soon. The retailer in the USA that sells Laboratorio Olfattivo is Ministry of Scent here in San Francisco. Think they're going to get the fragrance very soon. I'll have a link to it. No discount codes, unfortunately. And same thing with the Maison Tahite, which is a sister house to Laboratorio Olfattivo. We have Vanille de MINUIT. This one's currently selling over at Ministry of Scent. I have it linked in the info box. No discount code, but you can, if you really fell in love with it, you can buy it there. And usually Ministry of Scent is really good with samples, so they'll provide you samples as well. The next one is New Notes AKIGALA Mandarino, this one right here. So this is traditionally 10% off with Sebastian10 over at So Avant-Garde, linked in the info box. But as I've been saying for the previous two fragrances, they have a promotion right now, 30% off weekend over at So Avant-Garde, and you can click the link and go there if you're really into that fragrance, which is a juicy, pulpy citrus fragrance with a Ganymede-like presence. That you can get that for 30% off, all linked in the info box. Next up, Mind Games Prodigy. This is it right here. I was surprised by how great this one is, by the way, when I was testing it out. And this is traditionally, there's no discounts on Mind Games, but I might have something cooking next week. Stay tuned for that. But it's Sebastian10 normally for discount code for any Mind Games fragrance on the Mind Games website. So the next fragrance is Noeme Paris Vanille de Sambava. I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen with the discount code for that, so stay tuned for that. The next one after that is Nightcap by Guy Fawkes. This is also a very limited edition fragrance. They've been doing drops of 500 at a time every several months, I believe. No discount code, and I believe they're completely sold out. Same thing with the Guy Fawkes Nightcap. Ministry of Scent here in San Francisco sells the brand, but they're completely out of Nightcap as well. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. If you were, you're going to probably have to wait until their next drop for that one. But the next fragrance is Giardini di Toscana's Blue Mare, this one right here. There is a 15% off discount code over at ZGO Perfumery. and the code is the perfume guy. It's all linked in the info box. You can click on it and head over there and buy that fragrance. Definitely not Bianco Latte, and this is definitely much more of a marine fragrance. And if you're into it, you're definitely probably going to enjoy that one. So let me know if you were a fan of that one when you sampled it in your latest mystery box. The next fragrance is a Thai house called Prod. It's Cherry Syrup Black. Let me know if you got to sample this one. There is a 10% discount code over on their own distributor, USA distributor website. I have it linked in the info box. That code is the perfume guy, and it saves you 10% off. So I really like that one. It's Chris Maurice creation, kind of like a Lost Cherry with, if Lost Cherry got married with something like Chanel number 19. The next fragrance is Federico Parfum's Blooming Amber. Still trying to work out a discount code for that, so stay tuned for that. By the time this video airs, which is going to be like almost a week later, if I have discount codes, I'll have them updated in the info box. So if I mention there isn't one, double check in the info box to see I would have put it there. And also I'll put it on the website. But the website is pretty current with what I'm reading to you right now. The next fragrance is Roger Parfum's Elysium Pour Femme Eau de Parfum, this one right here. This is a 10% discount fragrance. It's Perfume Guy 10, not the Perfume Guy 10. It's Perfume Guy 10, linked in the info box. I do want to bring up something that came up recently. I got a comment on one of the videos I did for Mystery Box, and somebody said it was really annoying that we don't mention if it's a fragrance targeted to men or women on the cards that are provided in the kit. Well, let me tell you something. If you're a follower of mine, you would know most of the fragrances I speak about are unisex. Very occasionally, I touch on feminine targeted releases, and occasionally I focus on male targeted fragrances. But most of my Scent Club kits are unisex, so you don't have to worry about if you're wearing a men's fragrance or a woman's fragrance. They're all unisex. And when I was reading about the fragrances in the first video, I mentioned there is one feminine fragrance in this box. First time I've done that, and it's this one. This is the first time. I won't say no to anymore in the future, but generally all the boxes should be unisex targeted, so don't have to worry about wearing a woman's perfume until I mention it. So if you're watching the videos, I'll tell you this is a men's fragrance, this is a woman's. So the only woman's fragrance we've actually featured in the kit is this one here, Elysium Eau de Parfum from Roger Parfum. So the next fragrance is from the house of Juliette Hazegun. It's Ex Vetiver, this one right here. There is a discount code here for this as well. It's Perfume Guy 10, not the Perfume Guy 10, Perfume Guy 10, and it's 10% off. And then we have Naked Laundry, which is this from the house of Born to Stand Out. We have a 10% discount code, and I'm going to have to write the discount code in the info box. I don't remember, it's not coming up here as well, but I'll update the info box and then also the website. But it's 10% off, and it's over at Lucky Scent. All right, the next fragrance is De Gabor's Alcherme, this one right here. So Alcherme has a 10% discount code over at Fragrance Vault. It's 10% off, and the code is the Perfume Guy. Next, we've got Orme's Trois 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 Extrait de Parfum, this one right here. There is a 15% discount code over at CGO Perfumery, drawing a blank with all the retailers, and that code is the Perfume Guy. Next, we've got a fragrance from the house of Essential Parfums. It's Neroli Botanica, this one right here. No discount code. This is over at Ministry of Scent, and it's linked in the info box. But the fragrances are under $100 for 100 ml, so it's a fairly nicely priced collection of fragrances. And Essential Parfums really enjoy that house. Next, the last fragrance before I get to the 6 fragrances from one house. This is Kajal's Le Mar Noir, this one right here. There is a 10% discount code linked in the info box directly to the Kajal website, and that code is the Perfume Guy. And last but not least, we've got the 6 fragrances from the Bouchard Colbert collection. I'm going to try and show you all of them here. Those are 2. Then we've got these 2. And then finally, these 2. So there's 6 fragrances. I don't have a discount code for these yet, but by the time this video airs, hopefully I will have it, and I'll update the info box of this video and also the website where you can get more information. So those are all the discount codes I have to report on today. Let me know if there's a fragrance you fell in love with that you really enjoyed, and maybe one that you hated. add a comment below so I can find out. And again, going back to the mystery boxes, we have about 20 mystery boxes that we just released. So if you were in the market for one, get it as soon as possible, because it's going to run out very soon and we'll be done with this box forever. And also, just back to the NOEME Vanilla SAMBAVA issue, I'm very sorry this happened. I believe this is the fault of the brand and their carelessness. I don't know what else to say. I'm assuming that the fragrances came to us leaked, because they're shipped with DHL. I mean, it's a big box, and even though they were cloth, they were cushioned, kind of, sort of. I feel like with all the movement, the caps that were not tightly screwed just came apart and leaked. But they were in the box for weeks, so they dried up by the time we started, compiling the kits together, and we didn't notice. And when we opened up a couple of them and saw the juice in there, we assumed they were all like that. They were fine, because not everybody had leakage. But either way, I apologize for that problem, and hopefully that won't happen again in the future. But I think some of you said it smelled great in the box when you opened the box. But other than that, I think the best solution is, if you haven't reported it to the customer service team, please do. And I believe if you were one of the persons that bought it, you probably received an email with a resolution to resolve this issue of the leakage. Because when you do the math, each sample turns out to be about $2.15-16. So I think they're giving you guys like a credit for a future purchase. But if you have any questions, contact the customer service. It's SCENTCLUB@theperfumeguy.net. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I think going forward within the next week, there will be some additional things that we're going to drop. There might be a combo of mystery boxes, smaller versions. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that we have that we want to drop. And stay tuned for those of you that were missing out on kits, and whether the last couple of kits or this latest one or any of the previous original kits, we'll have some additional things for you guys to check out as well. And also, the next full Scent Club kit drop, not a mystery box, but a Scent Club kit drop, will be next month in January, so stay tuned for that as well. It's going to be a great one. I believe I'll have at least 2 extraits de parfums in there. I believe they're all extraits de parfums, actually, come to think of it. One of them is a very recent launch, a favorite of mine. Not JUSBOX 54, by the way. We did that in the mystery box. Yeah, I left that off just because everybody already bought a bottle. Why would they want to buy a kit with it in there? But the sample in there is for people that didn't buy it to sample the fragrance. But yeah, there will be a great kit number 13, Scent Club kit number 13 in January. Stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, stay tuned for some of the additional things that we're going to drop. And if I don't get to say this, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.